ridiculously excited about this cemetery that I'm at. Because on Google Maps, it didn't look that great. It looked too, wait just a second. It looked too structured. Like I thought it was just gonna be linear rows of tombs or tombs, graveyard, tombstones. I don't know what they're called, but I thought it would be just like, perpendicular, parallel, and boring. But I don't know. I came here and a part of me was like a little kid and really excited. And I almost want to say that it's prettier than the other cemetery, which I'm kind of shocked by. And it might be larger too. And I don't know if it's because it's kind of turning into fall and the leaves are kind of changing. Like this is such a cute little like bonsai looking tree. Look how adorable! Oh my god. Oh. So who knows? This might be my new favorite place. Oh man. It's not that easy for me to get to nature around my place. It's just not as easy as my other place. So you know now how you can just sense really just subtly in the body because everything's just energetic now, and so you could just sense the subtle changes or differences. And I could sense how it takes a little toll on my body to not have nature as easily accessible. Because before I used to just be able to walk to the park quite easily between sessions and it wouldn't take too much time and I could just sit on a bench and my body would just like melt. And now it takes about 30 minutes or even more to get to some greenery where I can just like sit and relax. So it happens a little less, and it's not a big deal, but I definitely felt the difference in the body. Oh, but this is so nice. I'm like so happy about this place. And I will probably give you a tour. And it's such a nice day. It's been raining for a week or so and it's been really cold. And then it got warm again. The sun came out. So that's been really nice. Oh, maybe I'll post a little more now since this feels nice. But I can't promise anything because everything's so immediate now. I can't promise anything. I can't predict or know or force the body to do something. It just happens if it happens. It feels right if it's right. And I think because of that, there are just changes or shifts in how you relate to others, because at least how this character or personality or the tendency here was to, for instance, if someone's going through a really tough time, I would want to be reassuring to them that I'll see them again, or that I will be a support system to them, or just so that they feel some relief, hopefully. I think that was what can unconsciously happen here. But now there's none of that narrative or that feedback loop of like, I feel the need to be there for them. And I feel like it's really important to them, because there was this subtle fear or uncertainty that they might not be able to handle the situation or their emotions. But now a lot of it has shifted, because you could just say I felt through so much here, like the depths of despair and grief and sorrow and sadness and anger and hatred and love. Like it's obvious to me that I felt through everything. There's nothing that I didn't feel. And I know it's possible. Like, it's just obvious now. So I think now there's just an okayness with other people going through the hardship of that, because it's not seen as hardship, really. Like, I know it's difficult, and it is actually nice to have support. Even now, like, there is a niceness in having support. It's from very few people now. Like, I don't need a lot of interaction anymore at all. But I can sense that just on the base level, like biologically, it's nice to just have some support. So, that's all valid and understandable. But there really is just such a freedom for others to be as they are and go through what the circumstance will trigger in them, because it's not a problem. It's really not. That's how life is. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to be of support. There isn't this immense aversion or pushing away, and there isn't this like, oh my god, I need to be there for them, what's gonna happen if I'm not there. There isn't that. So it's just quite empty, and so if the natural, spontaneous, it feels right to go and see someone, there are a lot of planes. And the natural sense to reach out or just check in on someone, or Yeah, be there for someone. Like, that's not hindered. It can happen. But now I can't promise that that will happen in the future, because there is no future. Like, it's so obvious that there's no control in the thoughts, the feelings, what happens, any choices or decisions that are apparently made. It just happens if it happens. That is so obvious here now. And so now the brain or body doesn't function that way. Yeah, it just can't promise in that way. You know, it's not so-called reliable in the way that most people would probably expect or want, perhaps. You know, it varies, but and now it's obvious to me to see when there's overgiving or trying to get. It's just clear. It's just obvious because it's so empty here. And so you see it so clearly. Yeah, it's interesting to notice it because, yeah, it's just interesting. I've never seen it that way so clearly. And it's really interesting. It's interesting. It's also just is what it is. Doesn't have much meaning, but you could see the intricacies or the mechanisms that are running in people. That is the person that is suffering. You can just see it so clearly. And it's really not in a judgmental way. Like, there's really an understanding that that's just how it is. I get it. And so when I'm around it and I see it clearly, sometimes there's just a for some reason I can't help but kind of smile. It's not that it's funny, it's just that I get what's happening. It's fine. It's also kind of crazy. Sometimes it could be a little insane and it doesn't make any sense. Like, the stories that are solidified and feel real, they're completely made up, but I understand that it feels real. I understand that, for instance, if there's immense anger towards someone, a story can feel really real. And, you know, it's not healthy. I don't do anything like deny their story or anything. There's nothing like that, because there's a real, true, deep, open understanding of why it is that way, and it's fine. If anything, I'm just more there for whatever feeling that there is, and it's okay that they feel that way. I understand. I get it. And really the only thing I can do is just support, like, be there. Because there isn't a deep desire here to change anything. Yeah, it's seen that it is just the way it is, and it's okay. It's alright. Yeah, and the person suffers a lot because they think they know what's right. They think they know. And it's so opposite, because the freedom and the sanity and the openness and the no need for anything, just the simplicity, just this is obvious when there's absolutely no certainty and knowing and no permanency in anything. And it's just words that can never ever point to this ever. But a deeper peace can just be here, and then there's a so-called living from there. Like, it's not the person anymore, it's not me anymore, it's obvious that it's just happening, and there's no real control in anything, even though yeah. But as there's a falling back into this deeper peace, it's like the fight may, it's quite common that the fight will continue, you know? Sort of as long as it continues. Like, it'll try to control, it'll try to manipulate the way it used to. It'll try to figure it out and mentally understand or feel like, no, this is right. Like, no, this is really right. And it'll struggle and fight, and the suffering will still appear, and it's okay. I think it's just really normal. That's how it happened here, and just a deeper and deeper collapse just kept happening because there's just enough emptiness and not enough solidity anymore to make things concrete in the same way. And it's obvious that the only thing to really do is surrender or let go. Because you're exhausted, you're tired, you feel it so much more fully. The exhaustion is so obvious. You feel the body. So much more vividly, because it's just that's all there is. It's such an odd thing to go through, and it's so amazing that we can go through that. But it's challenging. It's difficult. And during this, you see the past over and over in a different light, in new perspective, in a larger perspective, in a different light, with more light, in emptiness. And yet it feels so real. And it is so real, and yet it's not. It is and it isn't. It's leaving the body. It might not feel like that because it just feels like it, here, now, this, that. It feels like everything when it's here. But yeah, it loses strength every time because it's just seen clearly, and it's not you that's seeing it. It's just seen. It's melted a bit more. So for a time, it might feel like, the future really does kind of disappear, but the past, there's still energetic remnants of it. So the past might still feel real when it does come up, when the past stories are triggered, when the past conditioning or the tendencies here are just full on. There might just be some struggle and fight against it, but really it's seen with innocence because you did not produce it, you did not make it. Even the sense before that believed it to be true, solidified it, and took actions because of it, that was never you. That just happened. It was a complete illusion. It was an effect that felt real. So crazy. But here now, when you look back, it's just simply what happened. It couldn't have been any other way. Fuck. uh, and then you see all of the shame and guilt and self-hatred and hatred of others and all the turmoil and complexity and insanity and layers upon layers of stories and this and that and right and wrong and taking a position, staying stuck. You see, fuck, we suffer so much. And when you see that in another, it's like there's kind of like it's unfortunate, you know. You know how that feels. You know how twisted it is. You know how it doesn't make sense, but they think that they're really right and they know. And yet it's fine. It's fine the way it is. It's okay. I'll give you a little tour because it's so pretty today. So pretty. Oh my god, this tree is like amazing. So cute. Oh my god, like look at this place. As I was walking here and so happy, I was like, I'm so weird. And something inside felt like, oh, this feels like home. You know, there's no real place that's home, but I don't know, you can still just like sense things, like the body just likes it here. Yeah, this place is big. Maybe it's because it's a weekday, but there's like really no one here. It's like less people than the other place. like, I think the thing I really liked about the other cemetery is that it just kind of felt new every single time I sort of went there, just because it wasn't straight roads. It was all just like curved, and I didn't really know where I was going. You know, the trees were constantly changing, and I don't know, there was something. It was kind of unruly and not perfected, but it was still so well kept. And yeah, there was a lot of care and love put into it. I don't know. You can just sense, I guess, you know, when, yeah, there's a lot of care. Care is such an interesting thing because it does diminish, because the person cares, but because it validates them somehow, so it can appear very excessive. So that kind of care is kind of like a lot of suffering, or a lot of needing or getting, or yeah, there's just a lot of complexity around it. So, you know, I feel like I still care, but that word doesn't seem to do any justice to, I don't even know if it's a feeling. Like, yeah, that's the only way I can express it. Like, I do care about people close to me. Yeah, I want them to be okay. I don't want them to suffer. If they suffer, it's okay. I kind of know, like, it is overall okay. They can handle it. Oh my god, so cute. Yeah, and you know, who knows, maybe that will diminish, but I just think, like, as long as the body's kind of alive. I just found this cute little bench. So cute. I think there are these energetic bonds that are still there. It's just that so everything's energetic, so then it's hard to talk about. But on top of that, there can be a needy sort of bond, a graspy sort of bond. I don't like using the word identity anymore because I don't even know what that means. It's all just energy. It's all just like has this sense of like me and mine and yeah, who I am, what this means to me. So I think that kind of stuff is more tied into mental ideas of who someone is to you or who I am to someone, which creates a lot of energetic constrictions because you're not free. There isn't just freedom. There isn't just openness. There isn't just energy. I mean, it's all energy, but it's like constricted energy. It's like the idea of who I am makes it energetically more rigid, more stuck, more more permanent and predictable, apparently, but not really. Because nothing really is, but there's this like sort of effortful, you might not think it's effortful, but there's just this effortful trying to be that way, or I should. I have no idea if anything I say makes any sense. Because no words really have any gravity anymore. Like it doesn't really describe or point to what I mean. Like, isn't it so pretty? Oh, I think I saw a certain part of the cemetery on Google that those pictures appeared very linear and structured. And I was like, ooh, that's not very nice. Peace out.